All right, we got somebody who done wrote in. His name is The Real, what did it say? The Emotional Remix 56. He say, heck to the no. Gen Z isn't weak. We're actually pretty strong considering what we have to go through. Everything is 1,000,000 times more expensive than it used to be. Some of us have to work multiple jobs just to make a decent return. Not to mention every aspect of our joy in life is attached to monetary value, which means even modern relationships suffer from lack of authenticity. Even our own family members are trying to stab us in the back. It never used to be like this. Everything that the boomers had growing up into adulthood, the period between 1980 and 2016, was peak. Life has gone downhill since then, and we're still fighting. Now, this guy got a Porsche for his profile picture, right? Now, let me break down some of this. Look, everything is more expensive, and it's really not. What you mean? I remember gas was 80 cents. I remember Coca-Cola was 99 cents. How much is gas today? $2.30. How much is a Coca-Cola today? $2.99. What's the average wage today for a guy that's taking care of his family? The average hourly pay for a welder is $30 an hour. That's average. $30 an hour. Now, I would agree a lot of people have taken advantage of this economy. That's why you say they're not more expensive, but they are a little bit more. Yes, Disney costs more today than it did 20 years ago. I agree with that. Yes, houses today, yes, they have doubled in price. They have. But you have to understand, such a time as this where you can sit home and make money. Listen, I don't know what I got to do, but that guy got that 250, that thing never moves. I'm assuming he's an old guy. He got to sell that to me. He got to sell me that 250. Listen, this generation can make, I got a $1,000 check, $933. I got a $1,000 check coming from YouTube in about another 2 weeks. And actually 11 days, $933 check coming from YouTube. Bro, that's a lot of money. Some people, man, that ain't nothing, Gibson. Bro, to get a free $933 for running my mouth, bro, that's a lot of money. $933, that's a lot of money. The older generation couldn't get $1,000 from YouTube. It wasn't a YouTube. So don't tell me stuff is more expensive, but we got a bunch of ways to make, look, let's say I keep that consistently, $933 every month. Let's just say I'm able to get $1,000 a month from YouTube for 12 months out the year. That's $12,000 a month. That's one income, $12,000 a month. And let's just say my business makes $100,000 a year. Again, $100,000 a day is about like $70,000 5-6 years ago. It's not. We're using hypothetical numbers. Say I get $12,000 a year from YouTube, $100,000 a year from cutting grass, and in a winter I make an additional $30,000 welding. That's $142,000. Now you got some people. Gibson, my payroll is $100,000 a month. What I'm saying is, there's no excuse for you not to live a somewhat decent life in today's economy. Look, if you can make $1,000 a month from YouTube, you can live back here. This house right here. Yeah, they in there cleaning up. You should have left the blinds open. This house right here was this is the last built house in this subdivision. That house probably run about $1,700, $1,800 a month. Didn't I just say you look at all these houses? Look at it. Look at it. Oh yeah, y'all need to let me clean these leaves up and get Pedro out of here. Pedro saving you money, but I ain't making money. You get Pedro out of here. These houses were bought when everything wasn't kind of somewhat through the roof. So everybody back here, they're paying about $1,600 to $1,800 a month for these houses. They probably really ain't paying that. They probably would have paid more like $13 or $14. We're just gonna level everything out at $1,500 a month. All right. $1,500 a month. Look at this. If you're getting $1,000 a month from YouTube, all thing you gotta do is come up with $500 a month. All you gotta do is come up with $500 a month. Now you have TikTok. If you get $1,000 from YouTube a month, $1,000 a month from TikTok, your mortgage is paid. Your mortgage is paid. You still got your full-time job making about $70,000 a year. That right there take care of your light bill, water bill, your phone bill, and everything is on the up and up. You want to go out there and buy a Porsche. You want to go out there and what this man doing? You want to go out there, take all your kids to Disney 3 times a year. That is why you're saying you can't afford these things. A lot of y'all wouldn't know a lot of this stuff existed if it wasn't for social media. A lot of y'all would not know these places existed if it was not for social media. You would only be subject to the things that is in your area. Y'all want to fly out to California. Y'all want to go to the Yankees game. Y'all want to do all of that. And now, I don't make enough. Do you make enough to pay your mortgage? Yes. You make enough to pay your phone bill? Yes. You're making enough money. You're making enough. You're just not making, like, look, I'm making more money than I ever made. And I'm still not making enough for me. I need a little bit more, man. I need some more. I need more. Well, man, why you say you ain't making enough? Because I'm not riding around in a brand new truck. That's why. I ain't riding around in a brand new truck. I ain't got a shop. I ain't got land. So therefore, I ain't making enough. No, just say I'm not making enough to buy all my toys. I'm making enough to live. Well, man, living is when you trap. No, living is when you got a roof over your head, food in your belly, a decent car in the driveway, and a tiny little bit of savings. That's living. You guys want to enjoy life. See, it's different between living and enjoying life. We're all living, but do you want to enjoy life? Listen, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.